Hi everyone, welcome back to Moving and Thriving with Dee. If you have been tuning in, we have been diving deep into what really it feels like moving abroad. Not just the logistic part, but also the emotional roller coaster you go through. In the last few episodes, we kicked off things by talking about the major life changes that happens after relocating. How everything from our daily routine to the sense of identity suddenly feels so different. Then in episode 2, we broke down into the reality versus the expectations. Things, no one tells us before we move abroad. And you realize about them only when you actually start living. And the final one, which we got into, was the cultural difference, the slangs, the social etiquettes, the work culture, workplace, etc. To even small day to day things which just catch you off guard. It's like, why was I not being aware of it? If you missed out on that, definitely go back and check that out. But today, I want to shift the gear a little bit more. Let's talk about something that helped me cope through all these changes when it felt like too much. What can be that thing which will help you or which helped me clearing my mind out, distracting me from the current situation? For me in particular, it was exploring the surroundings, experiencing the culture, and embracing it. Because when you move to another country, it becomes very easy to really get stuck in the head, overthink, get along with the daily activities, daily chores, or feeling a bit isolated. So, in this episode, we are simply going to talk about how stepping into the surroundings, discovering what is around you, giving yourself that mental breather can actually make a lot of difference. Going out to the library, to the mall, picking up hobbies, this these things definitely helped me. It's not like it did not help me. But when I challenged myself for self exploration and encouraged myself for thinking what's in my surrounding, that brought me a mental clarity. Let me tell you how. Many people ask me why exploring matters. Why do you want to know what's around you? Why would I not want to know what's around me? I have moved to another country. I want to know what's in my surroundings. Where am I going to live? What is the culture? How my new world looks like. Exploring your neighborhood is the key for adapting to your new environment. You should trust me on this one. We are living in an age where everything is just on our fingertips. Google. After the initial phase, the jet lag phase, the I want to go back phase, I started to Google parks nearby, hikes nearby, places to see nearby, or museums because I like arts, I like museums. So, museums, and luckily in New Zealand, you have a lot of things to do. You have huge amount of parks, lot of museums. New Zealand just encourages arts. So, there were a lot of things for me, especially to see and do around. There is also one thing which I would want to mention about the community center. Every place has their own community center, like every station, as we say in India, has their own community center, and there are huge amount of things to do, from yoga to Zumba to uh, crochet classes to music, actually. Because I remember every Tuesday there used to be violin classes. I used to just go as a spectator. I did not learn it. It's one of my favorite music instruments, so I always like to listen to it. So I used to stand and see how they are teaching the kids about it. I'm not sure what was the charges or the fees or anything like that. Probably it's very minimum low. There were certain things which were literally free. You just come together as a community. I myself once went to the knitting club because, like I told you, crochet was one of the hobbies which I picked. So I went once to the knitting club, and those people, they were so cool. They helped me in different types of stitches, and they were so helpful. They were so kind. The one thing which I must have spoken about this previously as well. I love about New Zealand is the people are so kind. They were so helpful. I think I attended like 3 sessions or 3 classes with them. It helped me so much. One, obviously, I learned a little bit of crocheting. Second, because I was communicating with them, I was able to get their accent, their slangs. And third, and the most important one, I was able to see some new faces, chat, interact. Then I definitely used to hike because it was helping me to clear my mind. There was this one particular place I was so drawn to was Horeca Science Reserves. It is in Stokes Valley. It has kind of 3 levels: the intermediate, a little bit difficult, and the most difficult one. I obviously did not do the most difficult one. One, because I was alone, and second, I know it is going to be very difficult because people over here are so active and everything is very easy for them, but it was not for me. So I was more of a level 1, level 2 kind of a person. Level 3 is definitely not my cup of. Also, when I say I started to explore the surroundings, I found some Indian grocery stores which were not very famous, because you have big stores like Yogi J and Bombay Bazaar now, which I'm currently very much into. But definitely, you should check out shops like Shivai, because sometimes they have certain things which are cheap. They have good discount which is available. I know we are deviating from the topic, but I need to speak about them. Small shops, but I think we should support. So obviously, while coming from India, I bought a lot of skincare products and what the things which you use daily for your face, body. But I wanted to make sure that I have a backup before that one finishes. It should not be a last moment rush. So I made a list of things which I wanted to have a look before my current products expire. So obviously I googled. There are so many options, there are so many reels in TikTok which you can find. Just say like shampoo for dry scalp, and hundreds of products will come up. And there are certain influencers which obviously will tell you, these are the things you should buy, these are the things you should not buy. And if you just put like dry shampoo example, dry shampoo New Zealand, they will even give you options from where to buy it. Like they will give you options from Pack and Save, from Woolsworth, New World, etc, etc. While I was searching for the products which is related to my skin, I found this one place which is in Queensgate Mall, Lower Hutt, Wellington. Life Pharmacy. Those people are so helpful. I mean, you have places like Chemist Warehouse, and there are other places as well where you find your skincare products. But these people, particularly, I am mentioning them because they were so helpful to me when I told them what's my skin type and what am I particularly looking for. They gave me ample of options that, this can be helpful for this can be helpful for this. And that was really helping me out to figure out what products I wanted. It's obviously my fourth video and no one is sponsoring it or anything like that. I am just giving you my suggestions, the places which helped me, and the people who were kind to me. So probably they can be kinder to you as well. Then, if you're looking for cosmetics, definitely hands down Mecca Cosmetics, the best in Queensgate. There was a girl, I'll still not forget, looking at my face. It was clear that I am lost. I'm not able to find what I'm looking for, or I'm just baffled looking at so many options. So she actually asked me the correct questions. That was like the best part, I would say. She asked me the correct questions, like what am I looking for, what shade I'm going for, what are my undertones, and what is in my mind, what do I have, like a reference picture or something like that, what's in my mind. And they were so helpful. They literally gave so much of time to me. I mean, it was a weekend. I still remember it was a weekend when I went to Mecca Cosmetics. And this lady, it was so busy, so busy. This lady, this girl, she helped me so well. The point here I want to make is, it's just a matter of you gathering the courage and stepping out. Once you step out, you can work out things very easily. It's just like the red car theory. Is If you don't know about the theory, It's an amazing thing. Check that out. It will basically tell you that, there are a lot of red cars which obviously is running around on the street. But if anyone asks you, how many red cars did you see today, will you know the answer? The answer is no, we would not know how many red cars we saw today. But if you consciously look for a red car, will you find red cars? The answer is yes. So in this case, you just have to consciously look for the things, and things would come very easily. It was this Easter weekend, last year Easter. So we were planning for a trip, which was like a good 4 5 days trip. I wanted to get my brows and certain things done. So obviously Google handy. I googled for the place which can do things for me, and I found one which is at Petone Jackson Street, who were able to do that for me. I booked an appointment where I used to stay. It was 4 to 5 stations, if I'm not wrong. I had to come, or if I'm taking a bus, I had to like change two buses and I have to reach there. But I on purpose picked a place which is a little bit far from my current place, so that one, I was able to explore the other part of the surroundings. Second, there was a beach nearby, so I really wanted to go and spend some time on the beach. And third, obviously it was summer in New Zealand. April means summers. I traveled by train for the first time that day, and it was not very difficult to figure it out. It was easy. You can work things out easily. So I just took a bus, then I took a train, I reached Petone, and I walked towards the salon, got my things done, went to a pizza shop, had pizza, and it was a good day. It was a good day. It took a lot of things out of my mind. I was able to spend time with myself, because new area, new location, new facilities, lot of shops, lot of options. So I was able to do things my way. What I wanted to pick, I could do it that way. So I learned a lot about myself that day. Also, there are a lot of thrift shops. So um, I went around looking for a lot of things, and it was fun. I mean, thrift shops are fun. That I went to their community center, the Petone Community Center. It's big, it's huge, because Petone is one of the known locations in Wellington. So they have like a very good street to walk, and again, a good community center, and a lot of people over there who will help you around if you need anything. So, yeah, if you're in Wellington, you should check out. So now you guys must think that, okay, fine, you discovered some new places, you went through some cool things. How did that help you? Let me tell you, that did. One, it challenged me to step out of my comfort zone. Two, when I was discovering some hidden gems in Wellington or hidden gems in Lower Hutt, I was constantly thinking about that. So it kept my mind out of what all things I was going through. And I've heard people saying that, if you need a breather, you should go out and you should travel, and you should, there should be a change of scenery. This is the word I've heard a lot of times. There should be a change of scenery. So let me tell you, it was not a change of scenery for a lot of days, but it was definitely a change of scenery for one day. And let me tell you, that was so refreshing. While discovering a lot of hidden gems, I also found pond, and so many ducks. I was so happy to see those ducks going around the water. I quickly went, got some greens, because they had clear instructions that if you're feeding the ducks, what are we supposed to give it them? No breads, etc. So I quickly went, grabbed whatever I had to, as per the chart, and I went and fed them. That felt so good. I cannot explain it to you. It was so good. The inner Blair in me was so happy. If anyone know what I'm talking about, Gossip Girls and Blair Waldorf, she used to go and feed ducks when she was upset, or she was sad, and it helped her clear her head. And I could so much relate to her, because looking at them, feeding them, how they fly, how they walk inside the pond, it was a new experience to me, and I was definitely very glad that I experienced that. And it's one of my go to spot. Even today after 2 years, almost 2 years of staying in New Zealand, even today when I am a little bit upset, when I'm a little bit depressed, when I want to just feel good, I just go to the ducks and feed them. Now, I am not a science student, but physical activity can boost your mind endorphins. And you must have heard about this, that meeting new people, seeing new things gives your mind a break from everything that you're thinking, the visa, the job, because it shifts your focus for the present moment, at least for those few hours. Moving abroad obviously comes with all these things, but finding new interests, keeping yourself engaged, keeping yourself active will definitely assist, at least for that short period of time. But once you make it like a routine of yours, it is very useful. Like I said previously, you are not alone. We all have been through this, and that's the only reason I come out over here and I speak about it, so that it doesn't make you feel that you're alone in this journey. You have a lot of people who have been through the same situation and is thriving currently. Let me tell you, I'm very happy today with my job, with my house, everything. So, I am here to tell you what things I did which helped me out, and probably that would help you as well. Let's build a community here and give a hand out to each other. If you like this video, share it with someone who really is going through the same situation. I have a list of things to share with you guys in the coming episodes, like what was my first failure, what's the right age of moving. All of this will be answered in the upcoming episodes. Or any further points which you want to listen about me, you can comment down below and I can create an episode on that. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you.